Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, consultant audiologist and director of ClearWax. Thank you for joining me in my latest video using the iCLEARscope endoscope. And here we have a patient who last attended 6 years ago. Therefore, this build-up you're seeing me remove has accumulated since 2019 when they last attended. At first, the video will be slightly blurry, and that's because there's loads of hairs at the entrance of the ear canal, and this earwax is extending to the first bend, and I'm having to insert the endoscope past the first bend to stretch it open, and that's in order for me to gain access into the ear. So naturally, the tip of the endoscope, because it's an endoscope, it enters the orifice, it's right up close and personal to the wax where all the hairs are, so I can't avoid that, unfortunately. You can trim the hairs, but it's not worthwhile trimming these hairs because it's not affecting me. We only really trim hairs when it's really obstructing the view. So once I remove the lateral wax, the medial wax, because I'm then able to pass the endoscope, past the hairs, past this soggy wax, the view is going to be a bit more sharper. So I'm just dragging out this wax. As you can see, I'm using microsuction, using a 14 gauge suction tip, which is the standard one that we use in the UK. And slowly coming out. They're slightly matted. They've got a lot of dead skin as well, enveloping this wax. So I'm going to just remove that. So these hairs are almost like whiskers. They are protruding from the first bend. That's typically where you find the bulk of the hairs in the ear, the cilia. Near the entrance, these hairs poke out, and then as they line up to the end of the inner third, because these hairs should only be on the cartilage portion of the ear canal, the outer third, near the boundary where the cartilage meets the bone part of the ear canal, these hairs generally sit flatter against the canal wall. And the reason why they're spiked out near the entrance is that they are somewhat there for a reason. They're there to capture any dust or dirt, prevent any insects from entering the ear. So they're almost like barbed wire, if you like, for the ear. But as these hairs enter the deeper part of the outer third of the ear canal, they rest flatter, and there the hairs are more designed to excrete sebum. So the sebaceous glands, which produce sebum, which is an oily lipid secretion, they are connected to the follicle of the hair, and the sebum is pushed through out of the sebaceous glands up the follicle of the hair, where it reaches the surface of the ear canal. And similarly with the ceruminous glands, they're also connected to the follicle. Sometimes the ceruminous glands, which produce an oily lipid-rich protein sweat, some of those glands extend directly to the surface of the ear canal, but predominantly they're also connected to the hair follicle. So I'm just bringing this down from the top. It's a bit elastic here because there's a bit of skin. Again, the endoscope's just where the hairs are. The endoscope needs to be in that position in order for me to stretch open the ear. If I go any deeper, then it is going to be up against the wax. I think I'm going to use some oil. So I'm just trying to get around the hairs, and the hairs do still protrude in, so I'm just going to push through them now. Because the wax is a bit deeper, I can push the endoscope a bit deeper in the ear as well. Just going to lift this off the bottom. Ideally, I want this wax to be a bit firmer because then it will come out in a big plug, but as I'm suctioning it, it's separating. And I'm going to use some oil in a moment to help bind the wax together. They have got a ditch in the ear canal, a bit of a widening erosion, and you'll see that more vividly as we progress through the procedure. And there's a lot of skin accumulation there. The skin came out with the plug of wax, actually. So I just put some oil. Some of the wax that I was retrieving just got trapped near the entrance. It's hard to fully visualize, but this patient has got, I wouldn't say a narrow entrance, but quite a bendy entrance. And no doubt that's one of the reasons why the wax is accumulating. The wax is trying to naturally migrate. Not only is it filling up in the trench and it then can't come out of the trench, as it's navigating the bends in the outer third of the ear canal, it's slowing down, and then we get a buildup of wax. The secret here is not to embed the suction tip too much against the wax. You just want to kiss the surface and in little gentle strokes peel it away. applying too much pressure, you might just push the wax a bit further in and you're going to block the suction tip. So it's just getting the right amount of pressure on the wax. You can see some of that skin at the bottom, the paler layer, peripheral layer that's enveloping this plug. I think I'm going to have to use some oil. But this is where the ditch is now, where I'm focusing the suction tip at the floor. So I will be returning there in a moment. Currently, I'm just trying to peel it off the anterior canal wall. So this wax is a bit darker than the wax more laterally. It's been in there longer. The earwax is generally secreted, well, not generally, it is secreted in the outer third of the ear canal where the sebaceous and ceruminous glands are. And it amalgamates with dead skin that's migrating from the deeper regions of the ear canal. And as the skin reaches the outer third, the individual skin cells tend to flake away, and it amalgamates with the wax, with loose hairs, debris, and that's the formula, if you like, for earwax. As we produce more wax, some of the lateral wax is forced out by the secretion of new wax, but the majority is actually pushed further in. It's pushed back and then deeper in the ear. It's been there longer, so it oxidizes and it darkens, but there's typically less natural oils and sweats, less sebum, ceruminous sweat that reaches the inner part of the ear canal. So the wax sometimes can firm up as well. Contrary to that, though, if the wax has been there for a long time, you can get a lot of humidity and sweat deep in the ear, and that then causes the wax to be a bit mushy, a bit like this consistency. So I think I've just put some more oil in. Not too much, just a tad. And currently I'm just peeling it from the roof and the back part of the ear canal, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the floor of the ear canal in a minute, where the oil is. This is the region here. When I remove this, you'll see a thick layer of skin adhere to the base of the plug. And this is what's keeping the wax plug in the ear. It's not, this wax and skin is not coming out of this ditch. So I'm slowly lifting it away. There's no ulceration. There's no need to refer the patient. This could be just anatomical. It could be pressure necrosis caused by previous wax impaction. The patient's too young to have benign osteonecrosis. They may have previously had an external auditory canal cholesteatoma years and years ago, causing an erosion. But I think in this case, it's probably more just anatomical. Maybe even had keratosis obturans causing a widening, but that's actually, they have got quite a global widening in hindsight. So when we look back in the ear, the deeper part of the ear canal is a bit wider generally, but it has got this ditch just at 6 o'clock on screen. So it's like a wavy, contoured ear canal. And it's quite circular instead of being egg-shaped. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Take care, keep well, and speak soon. Bye.